fashion suggests the diversity and the search for elegance of a privileged social class, as far as clothes, social conventions, home furnishings, ways of thinking, writing, and acting are concerned. Generally, any fashion cycle can be divided in the following phases: the creation of an original model that is recognized and adopted by a certain group, the spread of the trend when it becomes popular with a large portion of the population, and lastly, the end of the cycle after a cheap imitation is mass-produced. Saturation point is reached and the product loses its exclusiveness. Essentially, fashion is a communication phenomenon that allows individuals and groups to communicate among themselves. It can define, maintain, and give a social identity. Therefore, fashion is communication because if it were not accepted, it would not exist. Fashion is closely linked to mass media. This is particularly true when it comes to haute couture, since mass media are essential for it to become known worldwide. In the 20th century, this process increased significantly thanks to television. One of the principal tools of fashion is advertising, since it allows it to communicate with the final consumers. Fashion advertising is different from any other form of publicity, since its aim is to ensure that clothes stand out from all other consumer goods by presenting them not simply as something to buy, but associating them with emotions and desires. Clothes characterize our lifestyle, our position in the world, and in our relationships. They speak and show, but also hide and falsify, thus giving a misleading idea of our identities. Dress code is significant in society, as it is a form of identification that makes us feel part of an elite or a group. Certainly, clothes express not only who we are, but also how we feel. People who wear comfortable clothes love relaxing. People who pay meticulous attention to every detail of how they dress have a methodical nature. Those who wear breezy, glamorous clothes stress the need to be noticed. A person who dresses casually is the best person because she is inquiring and helpful. Fashion is not only creativity, inspiration, and intuition, but also management, strategy, business, and competitiveness. Thus, communication has a fundamental role in fashion enterprises. Nowadays, it's more evident with the social media such as Facebook, Twitter, and the new phenomenon of fashion bloggers, people who write about fashion. Many fashion enterprises entrust their brand image to the most influential bloggers, with the goal of improving their brand's reputation. In Italy, the fashion psychologist is a little-known figure. Common people are eager to find their own identity in order to give an answer to the following question: who am I? And they search for this answer in clothing. A fashion psychologist can help their patients to discover their fears, their desires, and their needs. Once the psychological pathway ends, people are able to fearlessly express themselves through their clothes and feel at ease with their body. Many fashion enterprises also rely on fashion psychologists to create a current and professional image not only of the business itself, but also of its staff and clients. The Made in Italy label has been used since 1918 to indicate the international uniqueness of Italy in four traditional industries: fashion, food, furniture, and mechanical engineering. In Italian, These are also known as the 4As: abbigliamento, clothes; agroalimentare, food; arredamento, furniture; and automobili, cars. Now, the meaning of made in is less dependent on the country in which a product is actually fabricated. Many draft laws are being examined in an attempt to determine the meaning of the Made in Italy label. Some of them identify it as a product only fabricated on national territory, while others consider products created, designed, and produced on Italian territory. The most arduous issue for Made in Italy clothing is the lack of many professional figures necessary in the fashion houses. This happened due to a change of values and a lack of interest in manual labor and an orientation towards different professional careers. Currently, there are many designers, but only a few of them are able to transform their sketches into actual clothes. There are no pattern makers, tailors, artisans, and other figures that are very important to create a real Made in Italy. Furthermore, since young people do not want to learn the manual profession of their fathers, a unique heritage is at risk. An important figure in the fashion sector is the linguistic mediator. He or she is a professional that facilitates communication between individuals, groups, organizations, and services. He or she knows one or more foreign languages very well, and so is able to seize too many opportunities offered in international trade, thanks to his or her professional training.
Cause you're